Today we're talking about everyone's favorite topic, reprints. And we're going to be covering Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolution, and Twilight Masquerade. I'm going to break down everything that you guys need to know, kind of what's been happening with the reprint scene, where things are going, where things are at. So make sure you stay tuned and watch the entire video. But let's just jump straight into Surging Sparks. Now, we've been seeing a ton of Surging Sparks ETBs hitting the market lately, mostly through Costco with that two-pack bundle that was an elite trainer box and a booster bundle, and it has been driving the price down. You can see this is just in the last month down 30%. The boxes were at $108 roughly on TCG Player, and now we're seeing them around $75. So it will be interesting to see how low these go. They're starting to get closer to MSRP. Obviously, they're still not at MSRP, still 20 bucks above. And it's going to be an interesting thing to see, like, which product, if any, we do see hit that MSRP number, because that's like the magic number that everyone's been talking about, MSRP. So it's something to keep an eye on. And I don't know how much further these are going to drop. Like I said, they may not ever hit MSRP, or they could. It really just depends on the quantity, but they definitely did a good job of bringing the price down and making it a lot more reasonable. All things considered, nobody wants to pay 75 bucks for an ETB, but it's a lot better than 108. So at least it seems like it's a step in the right direction, at least as far as the secondary market goes. They haven't been able to totally crash the price, but that's what we've been seeing. Now, as far as Surging Sparks goes, we did see a booster box reprint a while ago, and that did have a pretty major effect on the box, but you can see, obviously, it's still up pretty big on the 1 year, 68%. And right here is where you can see the peak of the booster boxes was at $265. Then we got the reprint announcement, and they came down all the way to around $217 was the low that we saw, $215 actually, and then they've come back up. So we're seeing them more recently. They've been rebounding in the $240 range. Now, that didn't really get anywhere close to MSRP, considering MSRP for a booster box is $161. So there was still quite a ways that had to go. But we've already seen them reprint booster boxes, although it seemed like it was a smaller amount. Now we're seeing them focus on ETBs and other ancillary products. It has definitely taken an effect on the chase cards of the set. The Chikachu right here is down 43% over the past 6 months, from $456 down to $258. It's just been slowly climbing, declining rather, all the way to where we're currently at. So it's definitely affected the chase cards and the set in a whole. But booster boxes right now probably performing the best, alongside Pokemon Center ETBs are performing really well right now, obviously, because that's like a limited print product. They haven't reprinted those. Not to say that they couldn't. It's just unlikely. They definitely could reprint Pokemon Center ETBs. There's nothing to say that they can't or won't, but either way, booster boxes and PC ETBs currently are the way to go for the top performing product. We'll also take a look real quick at the Latias. Now, this is a card that was declining quite a bit as well, but you can see it has started to bounce back. The 6-month chart, it's down 31% from a high of, it's 240 the high. Previously it hit 260, but it was in that 240 range for quite a while. And now we're finally starting to see a rebound on the Latias EX. So it's up around 8%, going from just 150 up into the 160. So not the craziest move, but we are starting to see it bounce back, unlike the Chikachu that does have some room to go. So interesting there. But that's kind of what we're seeing currently with Surging Sparks. And we are supposed to see, it looks like we're going to see more Costco stuff probably trickling in. It looks like they're the main place that's getting most of the product. So we could see those ETBs continue to drop if they in price, if they continue to flood the market with those boxes. But I think for the most part, most of the damage is done as far as like how much the ETB prices have dropped. And then we do need to talk about Prismatic as well. We're seeing the same treatment from Prismatic, but real quickly, I do need to say, so this is what you're looking at. These are the Costco boxes right here. You can see the Costco, the Surging Sparks box right here with the booster bundle and the Prismatic. I was able to get one each of these thanks to my friend Lauren. So huge shout out to Lauren. Thank you so much. I was only able to get these from her because she was able to go to Costco and get them before they sold out. And she was kind enough to, it was limit of 2 per membership, set aside her second one of each for me. So huge thank you, because I'm too far away from the Costco, the local Costco. And so like by the time I would have drove there, it probably would have been gone. And I'm pretty sure it was. So huge shout out to Lauren and a huge thank you once again. But back to the ETBs. So prismatic ETBs, they're holding up pretty well. Although we've seen a lot of ETBs hit the market, they are not really wanting to drop below that $100 mark, and they have a few times. Back here in June, we did see it drop below 100 down to 97, and that's kind of currently what we're seeing right now. They're really holding strong at that $97 mark. There's obviously, whenever these go on sale, they just get snatched up immediately, and the market is saying, oh, under $100, that's a steal. And they have bounced back from June up to July. They bounced back to around 110, and then now they're currently dipping to around 97. I don't really see them going that much further below currently where we're seeing. I just don't think they could really print that actual volume that would be needed to drive the price that low. I think it would need to be an insane amount. So I don't think, MSRP is, at least in the near future, is a possibility for prismatic elite trainer boxes. It just doesn't really seem like that is a possibility, but they are doing a good job of bringing the price down, because you have to say it is better than, like, if we zoom out right here, 6 months ago, we were seeing $140 elite trainer boxes. So obviously they are bringing the price down, and that is making it more affordable for people. So no matter what you want to look at it, no, it's not at MSRP. No, it's not where you want it, but it's more affordable, and maybe some people are taking advantage of that at that current price point. Listed median price, you can see, is at 120. So people are still listing these for the most part higher, and you're going to see that people value these more. They know they're going to go up. They don't have to sell at $97 for the people who are selling them. So just keep in mind that this product most likely is going to bounce back, just like it's been bouncing back. And it just depends how much they can print. Now, we've also seen the booster bundle, which we didn't cover for Surging Sparks, but the booster bundle for Prismatic Evolutions is another. Obviously, it's included in the 2-pack from Costco, and we've seen these popping up. For other sets as well in the past, we saw there was a lot of booster bundles. We saw it heavily for 151. We've seen it for a lot of other sets where they've been printing all these other ancillary products and not necessarily the elite trainer boxes that we really want. But the booster bundles haven't really taken too much of a hit in the past 3 months. So I don't know how much this is going to really play a factor for the booster bundle price. Booster bundles are a product that I actually like a lot. They don't take up very much space. They don't have a lot of that plastic waste either. And I've had good luck opening booster bundles. It seems like for the most part, my luck from booster bundles has been fairly good. So booster bundles are a product I'm fond of just in general. But if we we'll zoom out a little bit, look at the 6 month chart, it is down around 12%. So not as crazy. These were as high as $81, and now we're seeing them down into the 60s. So that's still it's a pretty significant drop, but well over MSRP, considering I think MSRP is around $28 for a booster bundle. So keep that in mind. They still have a ways to go if they wanted to make a dent for prismatic booster bundles. So that's currently what we're seeing. As far as prismatic goes, we'll talk about chase cards in a second. But real quick, we do need to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is me. If you want to support the channel in any way, there's also affiliate links down below if you want to support with no additional cost. But if you want to have some cool ways to show off your collection, whether it's graded cards or not, we also have top loader stands. These are all products that I 3D print. You can check them out. It was at itwasneverphasecards.com. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check it out. We got tons of stuff and keychains and all sorts of cool stuff on the website if you want to check it out, from PSA slab bumpers to stands to rotating display stands with the LED lights in them, like you can see behind me. And then recently, this is something I was thinking about launching. I don't know how many people are going to actually be interested in this, but I thought it was cool. It's like a thing that I would buy. So I just thought, I'll just throw it out there. It's a monthly subscription box. You can read more about it when you pull it up, but long story short is you're going to get at least one guaranteed pack in it. That can vary, obviously, depending on the month, but you're going to get some other 3D printed goodies, essentially, all Pokemon related, from slab bumpers to stands to keychains and I'll keep changing it every single month. And I just thought it was a cool little thing, something that I would actually buy. So you get a pack, you get open up some cards, and then you get maybe some figures, whatever it is. You'll always get your value out of it. You'll get around $25 in value. So anyways, a monthly subscription box available on the website as well if you want to check it out. If not, no worries. It's just something that I'm testing the waters with. I thought it was a cool idea. But anyways, let's get back to Prismatic. Oh, we're also seeing, this is something that's supposed to be dropping later in the month, or next month, I believe, actually, is the mini tins. So we're getting a reprint of mini tins, and you can see that the price has already been coming down. I think just off of that announcement, $225 roughly is what we're seeing. And now they're down to around $215, so not too crazy. But the mini tins, those getting restocked. I think that these are a nice product for this set specifically because they have all the evolutions on them. Really, really nice. So I do think that this is another one that will, I don't think they probably heavily, there's not gonna be too much of this before it comes to restocks. I think they're mainly focused on the other products, but just something to keep in mind that we should be seeing these hit the shelves within the next month. So keep an eye out on that. Let's zoom out a little bit and see, is this the high that we're coming off of? No. So previously, like at release, they were higher, around 270. And before that, they also peaked around 230. So we're not really at those highs, but we were coming off a little bit of a high. We went from a low of 208 to up to 225 and now back down to 214 for the mini tins. So that's currently what we're seeing as far as that goes. And then here's the other big product, something really worth noting for Prismatic is they're really trying to give it that Crown Zenith treatment. So not only are they reprinting ETBs, booster bundles, mini tins, tons of other stuff, but they got its own Sea and Sky box essentially. So this is, if you're not familiar, this is the Lucario and Tyranitar premium collection box. That's a ton of packs. I think it's 18 packs. No, sorry, 14 packs. I spoke too soon. 14 packs, and these are $55 MSRP Sam's Club exclusive, just like the Sea and Sky boxes. And currently we're seeing them already being flipped and sold on the secondary market at not quite triple MSRP, but well over double, $150 roughly is currently what we're seeing. Market price are $156. So not quite triple, but pretty close to triple MSRP. So, and from what we're hearing is that there's going to be more of these. These are going to be coming in waves. Supposedly another rumor that's floating around is that the initial drop that we got the other day for these was only like a small amount. I was not able to score on that drop, by the way. Sam's Club website was really buggy. But we should see more of these continue to hit the market as well. Once again, I don't think this is going to affect Elite Trainer box prices or anything, but this product will definitely affect single per pack price and singles prices. Now, Sea and Sky box from Crown Zenith is something that we saw. These were very cheap and very plentiful for a long time. They printed a ton of these and it was a very popular set. The market was a little bit different back then. You could see a year ago, these were still available in the $50 and $60 range before they shot up. Now they're still doing pretty good. They're around $170 a box. So even if we could only hope that if this box gets run down to somewhere around near MSRP, which I don't see that happening, I think the set is too popular, but maybe around 100 is maybe where we'll see it bottom out at. Once again, it depends on how many they print. That just know that long term, obviously it'll perform well. Sea and Sky boxes doing really well currently, so just continuing to move up. The only downside to a product like this, if you're keeping it sealed, is it really does take up a ton of space. Same with the Blooming Waters, like 151 boxes. They just take up so much space in your collection. That's kind of the only downside. And a lot of people ended up just consolidating them, breaking them down for just the packs, which makes a lot of sense. But I know that there's a lot of collectors that when they buy these, they're going to want the box sealed just to know it helps with the legitimacy of the box. I know obviously people will do shady things and reseal the packs and put them back in the box anyways, but the box, just a lot of people will want the box. So just keep in mind that if you're wanting to pick these up for sealed, you're probably going to want to keep the box, but it's going to take up a lot of space. So anyways, this is a product that I would love to see get down, and I would love to get some and just actually open the packs if they become affordable. So that's something that I would love to see. It depends how many they've printed. So I'm not holding my breath for this to get anywhere near MSRP. Like I said, I think the floor maybe is around 100, maybe a little less. So that's currently what we're seeing from Prismatic. And then we've talked about this recently, but just to touch on it as well, the singles from Prismatic are just dropping and dropping and dropping. We haven't seen the bottom of this, the singles yet. Here's the Umbreon, still the most expensive card in the era. $844. Look at the 6-month chart, down 46% from almost $1,600 down to where we're at right now, pretty much cutting in half. Now, there's an interesting thing happening right now. If this card continues to drop and the Bubble Mew continues to rise, like a raw copy, we could see the Bubble Mew actually overtake this card potentially, just because the Bubble Mew has been hitting crazy prices. Now, there would be a lot of movement that still has to happen. This would have to still drop a lot, and Bubble Mew would still have to move up a lot. But it's just something to keep an eye on there as well. And these prices are probably only going to continue to drop as we get more. There's just so much more prismatic packs flooding the market that the singles, obviously there's going to be more singles, but you can see there's still only 72 copies of these currently listed on TCG Player. Still a very difficult card to pull. So no matter how many packs really enter the market, it's still roughly like 1 out of 2,000 packs to pull this particular card. So keep that in mind, but we haven't seen the bottom of this yet, and I don't think we'll see it for a little while still. So the Sylveon is doing pretty much the same thing. Second most expensive card from the set. It's dropped really big as well. You can see it peaked at $560 back here, and it's dropped just massively down to under 300. Currently 290 with most recent sale at 277. So there's something else to be said there for the Sylveon. And then finally, I did say we were going to talk about Twilight Masquerade, and we are. Twilight Masquerade. Now, I don't know if this wasn't really one that was on my radar for needing a reprint for Elite Trainer boxes, but it kind of looks like they are ramping up their printing of Elite Trainer boxes in general. So in the future, it seems like we definitely could see more reprints of other sets, Elite Trainer boxes, possibly, just because of what they've been doing. But Twilight, right here, you can see we've taken a dip off of this. Now, these boxes finally were about to hit 100 for the regular Elite Trainer box, and then we got the reprint announcement, and now that's taking it back down to around 85, 80 bucks. So we'll see how low this one goes. This is one that potentially, depending on how many they print, could get closer to MSRP because it really wasn't already that high to begin with. So depending on the supply that we get, I think Twilight Masquerade's a good set. I think the booster box is doing really well right now, but I don't think we really needed, of all the sets, I don't think we needed a Twilight Masquerade ETB reprint. So just keep in mind, but currently actually, even lower, lowest listeds are around $81. So definitely much more affordable, but this box was one that, it had slowly risen over time. A year ago, look at how crazy this is, well below MSRP, $37 for Elite Trainer boxes a year ago. And then they've been climbing and climbing and climbing slowly. And so we'll see how far they drop. I'll keep you guys updated. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I do post daily. So I'll keep you guys updated on price movement of the ETBs there. But the booster boxes are doing rather well, and I think, like I said, this is maybe what needed the reprint more, if I'm being completely honest, but that's not currently what we're seeing. This box is getting close to that $300 range. 285 back here in July, it dipped down to 270, and now we're seeing it surpass that. 288, most recent sale at 295. Let's see what the lowest listeds are. Lowest listeds are 300 currently, so once we get a few more sales, this will be a $300 booster box. So like I said, I think they maybe should have printed more booster boxes personally, but it is what it is. As far as the chase cards go, the Greninja card's actually holding up fairly well. Now this was kind of the chase card before Surging Sparks really started to pop off. The Greninja really was the one that was kind of rising against all odds for the Scarlet and Violet era for SVO6. And you can see, look at the 1 month chart. It's finally starting to bounce back a little bit, up 5%, up to around $280. It previously, let's see what the previous high was. If we zoom out, the previous high was around 400. Now after release, it shot up pretty big, and it was holding that $300 range. I believe it was the first Scarlet and Violet era card to break 300, and it was holding 300 for quite a while, like I said, and then it shot up to around 400 earlier this year, and then it's been kind of free falling to the low of 260. So we're seeing off of that free fall, the first little rise from 260 up to 280. So it'll be something, people were going crazy for this card, chasing this card like crazy back when it was shooting up in value. So we'll see if this starts to get a little bit more attention and see where this card can go. When you start to look at it in comparison to like the Bubble Mew, currently with what that's doing, you can say, okay, well, maybe it can get back to close to this price, to this $400 mark, considering what the Bubble Mew's been at. Obviously, the Bubble Mew is a little bit more maybe iconic. Artwork stands out a little bit more, but Greninja is extremely popular. So we could be seeing a bounce back of Greninja potentially. So that's something to keep an eye out for as well. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. I think we'll continue to see the card rise a little bit. I just don't know to what extent. It could go crazy, and it could, be the next, like the second Bubble Mew that takes off and we start seeing some big value. I don't know, but just something to keep on your radar. And then lastly, the last card that we're going to talk about is the Eevee illustration rare. This is actually the third most valuable card from the set, but I just wanted to, it's like the second card for me. I like this Eevee card a lot. And this card has fallen off. I think this card, the previous high was around $100 if we zoom out right here. And it was late January, early February, we saw this card hit 105 for an illustration rare, which seemed possible after what we saw the Magikarp doing from Paldea. But it's fallen off, and it's kind of been leveling off around that $50 mark, which really does start to make sense. I don't really see it really dipping too much below 50, and we'll see if it can bounce back. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce, like a 2% price increase from $49 up to around 51-ish. So, but with reprints, if we get a lot of elite trainer boxes that become cheap, then we could see singles cards like the Greninja and like the Eevee drop in value because there'll be more singles entering the market. So that is something to keep an eye on. Maybe this drops below depending on the reprint size and everything. So currently, that's what we're looking at as far as the reprint situation. It's mostly those three sets. I find Prismatic being the most interesting and Surging being the second most interesting. And then the Twilight thing is kind of like not really fully on my radar. I mean, obviously I'll keep you guys updated, but it's not like the Twilight ETBs. I go, I didn't think it really needed that. But that does show if they're going to reprint Twilight, maybe they're going to reprint other sets. There's still older sets that are in the reprint window that we could see start to happen soon. So maybe that's going to be like a next year kind of thing, 2026, getting some other sets reprinted. So I don't really know what their current plan is as far as what they're doing for reprints. It seems like they're a little all over the place with ancillary products, not really doing so much as booster boxes. But we are seeing ETBs and stuff. So I would expect maybe the more popular sets. Maybe we see a Destined Rivals ETB reprint on the horizon as well. That would kind of line up with what we've been seeing from everything else. So that's all I have for you guys in this one. Hopefully you found that helpful. A little bit of a longer one here, but we kind of talked about most of the products. We talked about most of the chase cards, talked about a little bit of everything. So also, if you're this far in the video and you're not already subscribed, do yourself a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button and then make sure you guys enter the giveaway. There should be a video popping up here if you guys want to enter the giveaway. It should be happening really soon as we're getting really close to 20K. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.